welcome to the On the Water podcast with Freedom Boat Club. I am your host, Dusty Walker, and today we are interviewing the Rivah Sistah. So first, just kind of tell us what that is and who you are and how'd you get here.
So my name is Patricia Clement. That's my birth name. Well, my birth and married name. But I branded myself as Rivah Sistah a few years ago because, number one, a sister could be referred to as a black woman or just a female. So I'm not just exclusively for black women. I'm everybody's sister, no matter what race you are. So I just got exposed to the outdoors a few years ago, and I just became addicted, like obsessed with it. So I started posting on social media, look, y'all, I can catch my own crabs. I can catch my own fish. Look, I can clean it and cook it. It's mine. And I just decided to brand myself as Rivah Sistah. So with the boating aspect, how boating came into it is we started camping, and we got a seasonal spot at Grays Point Campground, and we were on the water. Well, first, let me back up. First, we started camping in a travel trailer. And the first campground we went to was waterfront in Cherry Zone. So every time we went camping, we expected to see water. I was like, oh, y'all don't have no water? Oh, no, we need to go somewhere with water. So we found Grays Point Campground, and we liked it. And we went there so much, we decided to just purchase and become seasonal. So we were seasonal on the water, right on the marina. So here we are, living this river life. And I'm watching people go out on their boats. And, people like, y'all want to come? And, ride on somebody else's boat is fine. But I was like, we need our own boat. Like, I'm all about ownership. So we got our own boat. We got a 2019 Nordic Star.
Awesome.
Brand new from the showroom. We were so excited taking our boater's license together. First day we went out on the water, I hit something in the water and messed up our propeller. I was so nervous. My confidence went down. But I heard, hey, it's a part of learning. Things happen.
Boating,
yeah, things are going to happen. Keep going. So kept going. I started fishing and crabbing. And then one day I told my husband, I was like, oh yeah, I want to take the boat out and fish and crab. And he was like, no ma'am, that is not a fishing and crabbing boat. Because crab pots are all nasty. You got to know how to build up and stuff on it. He was like, you're going to tear that boat up. You think I tear everything up like cars, but I wasn't. So I was like, you know what? Don't worry about it. I'm going to get my own boat. So I got this little John boat just to get away from the pier because I'm always fishing and crabbing on the pier. Right. And I was like, I want to go out. I want to go out in the water. So I got a John boat, went out that one time, did not like it. And then I bought like a 1990 skiff, and it was just so rigged up. It was old and beat up. Didn't like that. And I was like, you know what? If I'm brand myself as Rivah Sistah, I gotta step my game up. I gotta be in something nice. So then I got a 2018 Carolina skiff last year, and that's my baby. So again, with me boating and just being new and admitting, hey, I'm new. This is fun. If I could do this, you can do it too. I had a lot of women started reaching out to me saying, wow, it must be nice. I'm like, you could do it too. So I wanted to partner with Freedom Boat Club because I know everybody's not in the space to purchase a boat.
Right.
And even when you purchase it, you still have to house it. Like we live in an HOA, so we cannot have our boat at our house. Right. So you have to store it somewhere. And then when you put it in the water, it's things that people don't think about. And the maintenance, oh my God, what they say, break out another 1,000?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, that's true. Because every time we put our boat in the shop for maintenance or whatever. So there's a lot of things with owning a boat. It's a lot of responsibility. We have 2 of them. So one of the things that stopped me that I'm not real comfortable with yet is putting the boat in the water by myself. Right. But with Freedom Boat Club, you don't have to do that. It's already in the water. So I was like, wow, I wish I'd have known about Freedom Boat Club before I bought a boat, because I might have not purchased my own boat. I could have just dealt with his and, used this boat to do the fishing and crabbing.
Well, a lot of our members do own boats, but they have their boat for their own personal use. And
Right.
say there's a small lake somewhere that they want to go to, or there's not a club location there. They have their own boat. Or like in your case, you got a boat that's really good for crabbing or
Right.
certain types of fishing.
Right.
So you might want your own boat for that, but for daily boating and like the ease of just showing up and the boat's already here and ready.
Right, that is.
You can have the best of both worlds.
Yeah, and you don't
But
have
like you said, if someone doesn't want to buy a boat, or maybe they just don't want to go down that
or
financial
don't
road.
know what kind of boat, because again, us being new to boating, we bought a deck boat. And then once I started fishing, my husband was like, well, maybe we should have got a center console, and then you could have used it. So,
Right.
like me, I bought 3 boats before I realized what I like.
Yeah.
So what I like about Freedom Boat Clubs, because you may not even want to own a boat, and why buy it? Now you have to go through selling
Right.
it. So I do like Freedom Boat Club. You get a chance to see what it's like to drive a pontoon, to see what it's like to drive something different. That's what I do like.
Yeah, that's the exact feedback that we get, and members dictate the fleet. So you haven't been in the club very long yet, but you'll get a member survey at some point. You guys get to vote on the boats that we buy,
Oh, wow.
what to buy, what not to buy, things like that. Oh, and just random circumstance today, when we got here, the reason we're wearing these vests, Channel 8 News was here interviewing some, I don't want to call her boring, but she was interviewing another boat owner that wasn't getting the flavor they wanted for the camera. So I had told her, like, hey, I'm here with our club ambassador today. Why don't we do an interview for boat safety? So somewhere out there you may see Patricia on the Channel 8 News for boat safety. Surprise interview, which was fun. But again, let's, for some of the newer boaters out there, in Freedom Boat Club, we require everyone to get their Virginia Boater Education course,
Right.
which I think it's required by the state now. But that's an online course that all of our members go through. And then recently, you just went through the actual captain's training with the club. Do you want to talk a little bit about
captain's
that?
training, I mean, like I said, even though I've driven a boat, I have my license already, that was so informative. Like, my confidence level went up, especially when it comes back to parking the boat. He had me go out and we did some exercises where I maneuvered the boat, and it was kind of windy that day, so I was glad it was windy because you may get caught on a windy day. Yeah, that was very good. So I told him I was going to go to Northern Virginia because I want to practice out there too at all. Yeah, Captain Mike is not going to be able to get rid of me.
I love it. I love it. And one more thing. So you travel a lot for your other programs that you have. Do you want to talk about how, when you're on these travels, you may or may not want to bring your own boat?
Right.
And you can talk and kind of mention what one of the benefits of Freedom Boat Club is.
We went to Destin, Florida. We went last year on vacation. We went to Destin, Florida.
Right.
And we drove. Once we got in the hotel, we was like, you know what, we're gonna rent a boat. So we rented a boat. We had a good time. And now, when we was gonna go back this year, which we didn't go, but he was like, next time we're gonna pull a boat. And I was like, you gonna pull a boat 10 hours? Number one, the gas. Then you have to find somewhere to park it. Then you gotta launch it. It's just so much. So I'm like, with Freedom Boat Club, you can go anywhere and rent a boat. You don't have to pull a boat because, you know, gas is high, especially with a truck. So when you're pulling something, that's very costly. And I said, traffic, you know, nobody wants to pull a boat 10 hours.
Yeah, and we have nearly 400 locations now.
Yeah, I did not know y'all have 400 locations.
So they recently opened the global territory even. So we're in the U.S., Canada, there's probably 15 clubs in Canada now. But we're also aggressively expanding in Europe.
That is amazing.
UK, Spain, I think there's a club in Portugal now, Denmark. They've recently opened a handful of clubs in Australia and now Puerto Rico.
Wow.
So more and more Freedom Boat Club, not only are we expanding in the U.S., but even abroad. So that opens our members up for when they're out traveling.
Yeah.
And we find members they'll plan their vacations around Freedom Boat Club locations.
I would do the same.
They know they can get a boat.
Yeah, if I go to Puerto Rico and rent a boat and go out fishing and don't have to pay for a charter.
Yeah. And remember, that's included.
Yeah,
you don't pay anything extra for those rentals at the other locations.
Yeah, and then you can go and come as you please, you know, at your own will, where you don't have to worry about a schedule of what time the charter leaving. You know, fishing charters are expensive.
Very, very.
That's amazing.
I'm trying to think, because I was looking at your Facebook. What other groups do you have on your program? It looks like you have two outdoors, like an outdoors program.
Yeah, well,
what was the other one?
I do youth enrichment programs for kids. I don't know if that's what you saw. But Rivah Sistah, like I said, just that is just being like a sister to motivate you to get outdoors, whether it's fishing, crabbing, boating, kayaking, just get outdoors. So I feel like if somebody could look at me with like 2 years of experience, because people was like, oh, I thought you was fishing for a long time. I was like, no. I just started fishing a few years ago and fell in love with it. So I love the fact of that I'm new. So if I could be so welcoming and comfortable being new, anybody could do it. Because again, my source of water entertainment when I grew up was a fire hydrant, because I grew up in East New York, Brooklyn. I didn't have access to boats and rivers and stuff like that. So that's why it's a little more, you know, where people are like, oh, she's so extra out there on the water. I'm like, if you grew up where I grew up, oh, you would be extra too. So yeah, I think I can, I just want to be that link to people with no experience or think they don't deserve or they can't, to tell them that they can.
Gotcha. And if people out there are curious about what you're doing, or they have any questions, or they want to get involved potentially, what's the best way for someone to contact you?
Yeah, my email address is info@rivahsistah.com, and that's RIVAH, like Rivah Sistah. SISTAH. I'm on Facebook, TikTok, Instagram. Yeah.
And you got a website too, right?
Yeah. It's www.rivahsistah.com.
Well, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for coming out today, and I look forward to. Well, we didn't mention it you're a club ambassador now for Freedom Boat Club.
Yes, I'm so excited.
So obviously you're going to be using, although you have your own boats, you're going to be using some of our club boats. But we look forward to seeing how that partnership plays out, and hopefully we can continue to introduce more and more people to the waterway.
Yeah.
So that's one of the big things Freedom Boat Club does. Is a lot of people, when they think about boating, the first thing that comes to mind is big dollar signs and headaches, which they're not wrong.
Yeah.
But Freedom, over 30 years now, has been bringing more and more people to the water that wouldn't have done it otherwise.
Right.
We're officially now the world's oldest and largest club.
Yes.
And now we crossed 50,000 members last year.
That's amazing.
And I think we may, no, that is true. Freedom Boat Club now has the largest boat fleet for a company as well.
Well, I'm honored to be an ambassador, and I hope I can bring some more memberships.
Oh, we will. So anyway, you guys check out Patricia's channels. Check out Freedom Boat Club. We're going to post this probably on your channels, my channels.
Right.
If anybody wants to learn about the club, you can reach out to either one of us. We also do tours where you can set up a time to come down here to the marina, look at the boats, have all your questions answered. And if you're curious about joining, you can, again, reach out to either one of us, and I'll send you our club welcome email, which has all of our pricing, club rules, videos about the club, and everything like that. And also, on behalf of our club ambassador, anybody watching this that does decide to join will get a nice discount and a free month on their monthly dues.
Wow, that's amazing. Y'all better take advantage of that.
So, but again, thanks for watching, everyone, and we'll see you guys soon.
Good.